representatives of blacksmiths from different regions of Ukraine who help our guys in anti-terrorist operations on when they are helping with everything they can to our troops. So I invite here the representatives of the blacksmiths, Андрій Чепердак, Ладижин, Олексій Щиран, Нікополь, Сергій Руденко, Нікополь, Роман Маринта from Mirgorod, and Volodymyr Deineko from Kyiv. They will tell us about their activities. Good afternoon, good morning, or rather good afternoon. We represent the volunteer movement of Blacksmiths of Ukraine. As every normal person these times, we are helping our state, our people, to win over our enemy, and among our colleagues, blacksmiths, they take part in combat action as well, and there are people who have died. 4 blacksmiths have died. Andriy Orest from Kryvyi Rih, Dmitro Nazarenko from Kremenchuk, Petro Fedoryak from Mirgorod, Andriy Dyomin from Ternopil. First of all, let's commemorate them with a minute of silence. Thank you. Please introduce yourself so that the media people know who is talking. I represent the smithery of Petro Fedoryaka, who perished in the anti-terrorist operation. I have been working with him for almost 14 years, and from the very start, we were not indifferent. We were helping with what we could, and the guys here do the same. Our main aim is to convey to people that they should not be indifferent as well, and that they should help both us and other people. For instance, in some hard thing, in some things that we cannot do on ourselves because there's not many people who can make something with their hands. We produce stoves from different regions of Ukraine. For instance, we don't have any plan, and the guys bring what is needed there, and people there tell us what they need. So this is the kind of stove, and this is the kind of pipes that we deal with. Hello. The city of Ladizhin, Vinnytsia region. I am Andriy Cheperdak. I am a blacksmith. The situation in the state is, we're all artists, but we are doing what we need to do. So these are the things that we manufacture. It's become cold now, and it's the time to make stoves for our guys. We take gas containers as scrap metal. We have published an announcement so that people bring those containers to us. We are not buying them, and I think there's quite a lot of such containers all over Ukraine, and we have made a lot of stoves, and we have arrived at the very economical version so that you don't need to have much wood. We also have made some devices to boil water, radiators we call them, and such a top is put on the stove, and within 3 seconds you've got hot water. And we also made the same for a wielding lamp. And we, the Union of Blacksmiths of Ukraine, everybody all over Ukraine are doing these stoves and other devices. You may see them on the photos so that people are not indifferent, so they join our effort. You don't even have to be a blacksmith or a great master to do this. You should just up and do this. And this is probably all. So this is the heater for water. Another thing, we have devised, Sergei Rudenko from Nikopol, we have devised such knives, and they were also tested in the anti-terrorist operation zone. If someone needs them, you can come to me and take them as a sample. And if someone can help us with the raw material, we will be very grateful, because of course we have to spend some money on this. We don't always have the money to buy everything that we need, but if there are any blacksmiths who may do this, we will send you samples and explain how they are done. Many guys call us from the anti-terrorist operation zone and say that they need knives, but we cannot. How many people are there in your smithery? We are producing something like 100 knives a month. We are doing them by hand because they should be very strong so that they don't break. How do you send them to the front? Through volunteers. I'm Volodymyr Deineka. I live in the town of Bucha, but now I work actively with volunteer group in Dnipropetrovsk, as they are closer to the war zone. And we pay most attention to metal, and there is quite a range of things that we make. Everything that is of metal, there's a great need for military units to get some technical support. You know, where the vehicles are concerned, we put armor plates of them, we produce screens and armor screens for them, armor plates for them, and we devise the technology for.
Usually make these screens for armored personnel carriers, and we have this know-how that's made of a grid which is 50-50, and for the same amount of money you can manufacture 20-30% more devices, and we make these metal links for the armored equipment to evacuate the vehicles, because very often such vehicles have no wheels, for example, after the battle. And now you see the protection of a vehicle which is equipped with the electronic reconnaissance devices, which are very delicate, and such screens 100% protect at least from some small pieces of metal. How many hours are needed, and how much would it cost to make that 12,000 hryvnia per one armored personnel carrier? And talking about human resources, when people want to make something, but the main material to purchase it, we require some sponsorship. Do you have sponsors, other people who want to help? The people used to say that in the past the drug addicts were taking everything out of their homes. Now the volunteers take everything out of their homes. Now the volunteers who have been involved, they don't have any more resources. And now our task is to find people who care, people with money, because now, of course, we are getting less money after the war sort of finished. But in fact, those people who come from the front line to take all these vehicles, they are really very grateful. How to find you? Do you have an account? How to give you this money? But how can people reach you? Do you have a page in the Facebook? In the Facebook, we have created the page, the Blacksmiths of Ukraine to front, Ковалі України фронту. And there are all our products. Also, we demonstrate the testing of all these stoves and other things. This is the platform to also share our technical achievements, because now we try to understand what design of the stove is good or not, what are the best requirements and the needs, because the heating stones, some are very good for places where people live, and some are better for working premises. How many stoves did you send to the front? And so different people are sending different numbers. Two people work and they make 2 or 3 stoves. There is maybe some bigger company and they send 10. When people have received money for that, then they are making hundreds of stoves. Now it's cold, and now there's a bigger need in such heating stoves. So you basically need to have additional money and people. As I've mentioned, we do have a certain resource, and people are ready to make these things. But basically, if the metal is delivered, then people start working. So if people can supply materials, that would be great. So we do have blacksmiths, but we need metal. Maybe anyone else would like to say a few words? And the friends tell me, besides manufacturing different things for the front, there's a big need. The guys from the front say that they want something as decorations. The children draw pictures, but the blacksmiths make different decorative things. We provide not just material but spiritual support as well. And as an example, our blacksmith from Ershava, he himself made the monument and put it in Ershava to the warrior who died, who was killed in ATO zone. Any other questions? First of all, we would like to thank you for your work for front. And will you in your projects be to make some sculpture dedicated to all these events? Do you have this in your plans, that all the blacksmiths would get together and make some sculpture statue? I believe yes. We haven't discussed it yet, but usually after New Year we talk about that. But I believe that this year or next year this will be the most topical thing, and later we will discuss which project this will be.
First, is most of your equipment going to voluntary battalions, or is it going to Ukrainian regular forces? And the second question is, do you think that the government should be providing more to militia groups?
Ці вироби і обладнання, яке ви виробляєте, ви передаєте
So who can answer the first question? Usually the blacksmiths have some friends and relatives who are fighting, and we give to those who we know. That's one channel. There are more serious structures like the headquarters of volunteers in ATO, and we bring our goods there, our products there, and in the headquarters they have all the logistics and they know who requires most. Then they send our products there. So the channels are different, but all is sent to ATO zone very quickly. But you do not know whether it gets to volunteer battalions. It gets to all the units, both the regular army, the National Guard, and volunteer. And the second question, do you believe that the state should do more to provide more assistance to our guys talking about the hearing devices and others? Yes, definitely. The state should be paying more attention, but that does not mean that people shouldn't be doing it also, because while we are in the situation that we is, we cannot wait till the state addresses all these issues, because we will not have the state. Thank you. Any other questions? Once you have no more questions, thank you for your very important work, and I hope that now, thanks to the media, more journalists, more people will learn about your initiative, the initiative of blacksmiths, and there will be sponsors who are ready to finance this very noble cause. And thank you for giving your effort